Everyone, this is Satyaprakash. Welcome to my channel. This is part 14 of ASP.NET Web API. In this video, we'll discuss what is media type formatters in ASP.NET Web API. So before going through this part 14, please visit my part 13 of ASP.NET Web API, that is what is content negotiation in ASP.NET Web API and what is serialization settings of JSON formatter. So you can get this video in my playlist called ASP.NET Web API tutorial. So in this video we'll discuss few points, that is what is media type formatter. So basically media type formatter is an abstract class from which JSON media type formatter and XML media type formatter classes inherited from. So JSON media type formatter handles the JSON and XML media type formatter handles the XML. So I'll show you here. So this two line of code I already have added in my previous video for content negotiation. So what I'll do here is I'll check here this JSON formatter, right? We'll check this class is inherited from the media type formatter abstract class. So if you right click on it and go to definition, and it will go to one more page, and there we can check its abstract class. You can see its type is JSON media type formatter, right? If you'll right click on it and go to definition, and this JSON media type formatter is inherited from its base media type formatter, right? Base JSON media type formatter. The same way we'll check here for XML media type formatter. So for that I remove this one, just check for XML media type formatter. So from the selection we need to select here as IntelliSense XML formatter. So right click on the XML formatter, go to definition, and there I can see the type is XML media type formatter. If you right click on it, go to definition, so XML media type formatter is inherited from media type formatter base class or abstract class, right? So if you right click on the media type formatter, you can see media type formatter is a abstract class, right? You can see abstract keyword is there. Okay, so this is all the basic about the JSON media type formatter and XML media type formatter. So in this video I'll discuss about the next point is, that is how to get JSON response from ASP.NET Web API by ignoring or irrespective of accept header value. So for that I need to add one line of code in WebApiConfig.cs under register folder, under register method, right? You can get this file under app_start folder. So this is the register method. I want to write one line of code. So code is using config object dot formatters, right? And using its collection type is remove, and inside remove we need to pass as a XML formatter. So config dot formatters, right? And here you need XML formatter. Okay, so what this line of code do is, this will completely remove the XML formatter, which forces ASP.NET Web API to always return JSON irrespective of the accept header value. So in the client request, so using this technique we want our service to support only JSON, not XML. Okay, so what I'll do here is I just build my solution. Okay, and once it's succeeded I'll run my application. So my build is succeeded. I want to run my application. So guys, I will map to my API employees. I copy this URL. So first of all I'll check the response in Swagger. Alright, so click this URL. So I need to expand my employee controller and check and click on that get method. So here you can see guys, content type is by default setting here selected as application/JSON, right? So I click on try it out. So guys, here you can see I got my requested URL and I got the inside the response body. You can see it is all JSON data, right? You can see here my content type is selected as application/JSON in the response header, and also in the response content type is selected as application/JSON. Okay, I need to check same response using our Fiddler. So what I'll do here is I put my URL and click on execute. I got the JSON response, right? So click this one, I got the JSON response, and in headers I got the content type application/JSON. If you go to Composer tab and put on accept header manually, that is the application/XML, and click on execute, so we are still getting JSON, right? So that it defines. So this line of code tells us that irrespective of accept header value, that is application/XML or application/JSON, the web API always going to return JSON, not XML. That's what after manually putting here in application/XML accept header value, we're still getting the response here as JSON. Okay, all right. So next point here is how to get XML response from ASP.NET Web API by ignoring accept header value. So guys, I need to stop my debugging and we'll discuss about the next line of code, that is how to return XML from ASP.NET Web API service irrespective of the accept header value. So same way we need to write one line of code. Just instead of XML formatter, we just write here JSON formatter, right? Okay, so JSON formatter, right? So what it does is I have added this line of code in WebAPIConfig.cs file under register method. You can get this file inside app_start folder. So this line of code completely removes JSON formatter, which forces ASP.NET Web API to always return XML irrespective of the accept header value in the client request. So using this technique, when you want your service to support only XML but not JSON, right? So what I'll do here is, same way I need to save my changes. Go to solution, right click on solution, build solution. So build succeeded and I run my application here. So guys, here I will type here Swagger to get the response and click OK. So I expand my employee controller, click on the get method, and you can see guys, in the response class example value, it responds here as in a XML format, right? This is the model. And you can see in content type by default it's selected here as application/XML, not application/JSON, right? And also test/XML. So I'll click here, try it out. So here guys, I can see my response body. It is in XML format, right? So here in response header, you can see in content type is application/XML. All right, so same thing we need to check in Fiddler. So remove all these things, go to Composer tab, remove, okay, just remove this accept header, okay, and click on execute. I can see XML response, right? So here you can see in it's selected here as XML. I can get the XML response. In header you can see the content type is application/XML. So if you check here as accept header is application/JSON and click execute, we are still getting XML, and header here as content type application/XML. So that means with this line of code, so irrespective of accept header value, that is application/XML or application/JSON, the web API service is always going to return XML, not JSON. Alright, so next step is how to get JSON response instead of XML from ASP.NET Web API while a request is made from the browser. So before doing any changes, I need to stop my debugging. So here is what we want the service do is when a request is issued from the browser, the web API service should return JSON instead of XML. And when a request is issued from a tool like Fiddler or Swagger, that means if the accept header is set to for application/XML, the service should return XML, and if it is set to application/JSON, the service should return JSON. So there is two ways to achieve this. That is step one is I will include the one line of code here. Just remove this one. So code is using config object formatters and dot JSON formatter, okay, and media type is supported media type and media types, okay, and the collection type is art. So inside we need to create the instance of new media type header value. So media, okay, you can like this, you can type here media type formatter media type header value, and inside we'll type here is text /HTML, okay. So and then we need to close it semicolon, right? So using this line of code we can set for that JSON response. So this line of code I have added in WebAPIConfig.cs under register folder, right? And so using config object, formatters is selected here JSON formatter, and using this supported media type collection class object, we have created the instance of media type header value of content type is text /HTML. So this line of code tells ASP.NET Web API to use JSON formatter when a request is made from text /HTML, which is the default for most browsers. But the problem here is I'll discuss. So by doing these changes, we need to build our solution. And build succeeded. I can run my application here. So here guys, I'll go to Swagger, click enter, so here I'll expand my employees controller and check on get method here, and here guys you can see content type is selected here as application/JSON, right? and I click on try it out. So here guys, I got the response here as in JSON format, and here in the response header you can see I got the content type is application/JSON. And if you select here content type drop down, I got the all the response, right? If you click here as application/JSON, I got the format here as response here as JSON. If you select here as application/XML, try it out, I can see the response here as in XML. If you select here as text/JSON, try it out, I can see in JSON text format. And if you select here as text/XML, try it out, I can see the response body in XML in text format, right? So before going to the Fiddler, I want to map to XML API's controller. Remove all, go to browser, select here again, go to Fiddler. So here guys, you can see one right and left angle bracket is generated, and this is nothing but the text/HTML. So before that, I want to remove this one. Alright, just drag and drop to the this box, and here you can see accept header is selected here as text/HTML in accept, right? So the problem with this approach is that, you know, if you select here as execute, click this, go to JSON, I can see in JSON, right? And it is in text view. If you go to header, I can see content type is text/HTML. all right. If you so the problem here is the content type header, you know, if you select here as yes, so here content type header of the response is set to text/HTML, right, in the Fiddler, but for the Swagger it was not there, right? So but Fiddler, it's showing content type is text/HTML. So this is quite bit misleading for this approach. What we have mentioned the line of code in our WebApiConfig.cs file, right? So next step is I'll tell you. Before that, I need to stop my debugging. So next step is I want to create one custom JSON formatter. Okay, so before that I need to comment this line, save my changes. Alright, so in WebApiConfig.cs file, I want to add one class, and for that I already have that code. To save the time, I already have written this. I just copy this line of code. Under the namespace, I want to add this line of code. So I already have created one class, like WebApiConfig.cs. I already have created this class, right? So for that I want to add its namespace, that is using system.net.http.formatting. And for media type also we need to add here as the namespace, right? So two namespaces required, that is one for system.net.http.formatting and system.net.http.headers. Alright, so this line of code, what this line of code is I created one class called custom JSON formatter. This is inherited from JSON MediaTypeFormatter, which is the abstract class. And I created one constructor of the same class called custom JSON formatter. Here, using this keyword, I call the collection is supported media type. Using add, I create the instance of media type header value using response as text forward slash HTML. This is the supported media type, and using it override method, and this method is already in the JSON media type formatter class. So to use the same method, we have used the override keyword. So I already have used the override method of set default content header. Inside I have added 3 parameters: type, HTTP content headers, and media type header value. So it is a override a method from JSON media type formatter, right? So using the base keyword, we have called this a method that is set default content headers, and inside I have passed 3 objects of these classes, right? So type class, and HTTP content headers class, and media type header value class. And I have passed this 3 objects of 3 classes in the calling method. And inside, after then, I have using headers.content type here as using media type header value. I pass the response type is application / JSON. So this is all about my custom JSON formatter class. So I have created this class. So how to call it? So inside register method, I want to use the line of code in register method of WebApiConfig.cs file in app_start folder to register the formatter. So code is config.formatters, right, and .add, and inside I want to create the instance of custom JSON formatter which I have created, right? So custom JSON formatter, and put on semicolon, right? This instance is same as my custom JSON formatter class. So code is config.formatters.add. Inside I create an instance of this class new custom JSON formatter constructor, right? So I already have registered my formatter and save my changes. Go to right click on my solution, build solution. So build succeeded. I want to run my application here. So guys, here what I'll do here is I go to Swagger, so expand this employee controller, select get method. You can see content type is selected here as application / JSON. Click on try it out. So I got the response in JSON format. I want to check the header type. Content type is application / JSON. If you select here as XML, try it out. I got the response in XML, and in header content type is selected here as XML, application / XML, but by default is selected here as application / JSON. So here I want to check in Fiddler, remove all. Okay, so here I want to remove everything. Click on execute. I got the JSON. Right here in header, I got the content type is application / JSON. So if you put on accept header here as application / XML, click on execute. I got the response here as XML format, and header is content type is application / XML. So by default I got the response here as JSON, right? But if you have not this line of code, then by default browser will return the response as XML, right? So with these changes, when a request is issued from browser or Swagger, you will get the JSON formatted data, and the content type header of the response is set as application/JSON. So if you are using a tool like Fiddler, and if you set accept header to application/XML, you'll get the response as XML formatted data. And in Swagger also, if you select as accept header is application/JSON, you will get the response in JSON, and if you select as accept header as XML, then you will get the response as XML format. Alright, so next point is, can we make our own custom formatter in ASP.NET Web API? Of course, yes. So I'll tell you the reason. Okay, first of all, MediaTypeFormatter is a after class from which JSON MediaTypeFormatter and XML MediaTypeFormatter class are inherited from. JSON MediaTypeFormatter handles the JSON and XML MediaTypeFormatter handles the XML data. Can we make our own custom formatter? Yes, because ASP.NET Web API is an extensible framework. This means you can also plug in your own custom formatter. If you want the response to be in CSV format, you can create own custom CSV MediaTypeFormatter class that should be inherited from the base after class called MediaTypeFormatter. So this is my YouTube channel. Subscribe and share it to get the updated knowledge on .NET Core, C#, SQL Server, Angular, GitHub, and DevOps. So in this video, what we have learned today is what is MediaTypeFormatter, how to get JSON response from ASP.NET Web API, irrespective of accept header value, how to get XML response from ASP.NET Web API, irrespective of accept header value, how to get JSON response instead of XML from ASP.NET Web API while a request is made from the browser. By default, browser always return the response as XML, but after doing some changes in our code, browser will return the response initially as a JSON format. But if you want the content type change to XML, application/XML in accept header, it will return the response as XML. Can we make our own custom formatter in ASP.NET Web API? Yes. So that's all about today, guys. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.